Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting with unit number 4 today. Ethics. Uh, Now, this unit is important from the point of view not only theory but practically we'll be using a method called case studies. Now, what are case studies? They're actually real lifetime studies made on people who have gone through a particular kind of experience. Not what, now what I'll suggest is while we are dealing with the topics of unit 4, only already in the syllabus document you will find a web link which the university has shared with us. Now if you explore the web link, it actually has cases from different branches of engineering, right? A few cases from computer branch, few from IT, few from civil, and so on and so forth. So, what I suggest is while we are going through the topics of unit number 4, you keep on exploring this web link, keep on exploring the various cases that happened, right? Especially, see, we're starting with understanding what ethics is and now how it will be linked with engineering. So, the title of our unit number 4, is Ethics in Engineering. Today, we are beginning with a little uh, discussion or a little highlight on what ethics actually is. Right? We most of us have heard about the word ethics, uh, and we know about it. But how do we link it with engineering, and how is it useful in the engineering field? Is what we need to know, right? So this unit actually intends to prepare you for the real time work. So in actual real life situations, if you stand in one situation, how do you take a decision? How things work is what we are going to explore through real life examples. Okay, examples that have happened with people, and how they overcame the examples, their techniques that they used, and how ethics played a role into it. Right. This is what the entire unit is all about. So ethics. Please remember this as an important MCQ from the exam point of view. The word ethics actually originally, uh, the word ethics originally comes from a Greek word. Okay, the origin of the word ethics is from a Greek word, and what is that Greek word? That Greek word is ethos. So ethics comes from a word called ethos, which is Greek. And what is ethos, or what does ethos means? Ethos means custom, habit, character, or disposition. Custom, habit, character, or disposition. Now, what is a custom? Customs are actually based on, some customs are universal and the rest are based on the culture in which you are abroad. Right? Customs, everybody would have a custom. Let's say we have a custom of lighting a lamp in the morning to worship the Lord. We have a custom of praying to God before we have food. Right? That's a custom. Habit. Habit is certain people are like that. Right? You have a habit of having tea. You have a habit of reading the newspaper in the morning. You might have a habit of being on time. You might have a habit of being neat and clean. You might have a habit of being a little perfect in things. Character is something with which you are upbuilt. Okay, certain characteristics. The word characteristics comes from character. What is character? A particular way of thinking that you have. And what do we mean by the word disposition? Disposition actually means it's the qualities that you possess, the qualities of your mind and your character. Let's say some people, when you meet them, you'll always feel a positive vibe. You feel the person is so positive, even if he or she does not feel sorry, he or she does not speak anything, you'll feel a positive vibe about that person. Right? That's what I mean when I say disposition. So ethos are certain things which come with you along the time when you are brought up in a particular environment, in a particular culture. Certain things that you imbibe, Imbibe means that you get, or things that are passed on to you from generation to generation, and certain things that are given to you while you are being upbrought, right? In your upbringing, certain things are cultivated in you. Cultivated means they are taught to you in such a way that you imbibe it, that you absorb the information within you, right? So remember, this is an important MCQ. uh, if you see, there's a word called etymology. Etymology means where did the word originally come from. So we all know that English is a language which has been built with the help of other languages. It has been borrowing and building its structure. So the word ethics comes from the Greek word. It's a Greek word. What is the Greek word? Ethos. And what are the meanings? A few meanings are custom, habits, character, and disposition. So please mark it as an important question. What is the simple or the simplified meaning? Ethics are equivalent. They are not equal to, but they're equivalent to the rules, principles, values, and a morality that we care. Right? Moral values, principles, rules that you have. Let's say some of us in our homes, we have a rule that you have to wake up before sunrise. Some of us have a rule that you should take a bath, be prepared, and then you can have your breakfast. Some of us have rules such as you finish your homework before 4, you get done with your work. Some of us would have rules like you have a whenever you want to buy something in the family, you need to consult every family member. You have a small family meeting at the dinner table, at the breakfast table, where you share your views and people talk about it. Some simple rules. So the simplified meaning of ethics is all these things that we follow in our daily life. Now let's take up the more difficult question. How it defined ethics? Ethics is actually a branch of philosophy that is used to study ideal human behavior and ideal ways of existing or being. Okay, by ideal we here mean to say a uh, more clarity in thought, more clarity of being well, and more clarity of how to survive in a society or a social norm. That is in the civilized form. Another definition says it is actually a systematic approach to understanding, analyzing, and distinguishing matters of right and wrong, good and bad, admirable and deplorable, as they relate to the well being of and the relationship among sentient beings. See, from very young age, so in the very first beginning, we said it is related to philosophy. Okay, so we're going to talk in that way. So from a very young age, parents try to teach the kids this is good, this is not good, this will not be appreciated. Let's say when you are playing, when you have siblings in the house, when you are playing, they'll tell you, oh, you are the elder one, you give your younger brother or sister the toy. Now you should understand you are elder. Or when you're the only child and you hit somebody's kid who has come to play with you at your home, they'll tell you, no, you cannot hit somebody. Very bad manners, not good manners. You cannot be putting your fingers in your mouth. Very bad manners. Now, it's not about being bad or good, but it also is related to your health as well. You put your fingers in your mouth, it's not good. You have been touching places and that's goes in. There are a few reasons behind different things that are happening, but it's actually trying to help you with surviving in a society which has its own rules and regulations. Now, why are these rules and regulations mean? These rules and regulations are there so that life is a little systematized. What if we did not have any rules? Let's take a simple example of schooling. Okay, you have to complete one standard or one level in 1 year. That's the rule. What if we did not have a rule? Most of us, when we don't have rules or when we don't have a boundary given to us, what will happen is we'll relax and we'll let it's okay, we'll take 2 years in standard 1, 2 years in standard 2. Now what happens is average human life is divided into a few phases. Let's say average age of a human being now, though it is reduced, uh, maybe of our grandparents was 100. For us it is now somewhere in between 60 to 80, and we never know if a mishap happens, right? So they want you to actually the system was brought in so that you have a milestone at each phase of life. You attain that milestone, you have a goal in mind. No, that's why it's written a systematic approach, right? You have a goal in mind, you fulfill your existence as a human being, and you move forward. Because if you don't have a milestone, you don't know where to stop, then it is a problem. Or you don't know where to start is a problem. That's why if you see over here, they've written that it's a systematic approach. You know, nobody just keeps, people don't keep on shouting. They'll give you examples. That's why it's written it's a systematic approach of understanding. You understand whether the act is good or bad. Let's say one small child is hitting another child. So what could be the consequences? The child becomes aggressive. The child does not understand that what he has done is not a good deed, and he is hurting the other person as well. What if the other person hits back? You'll also feel the same pain. So understanding, you try to make him understand. What if I hit you? It will hurt. You know, parents will not scold. They will systematically approach the situation. Analyzing. Analyzing means you look into the situation. What if it happens to you? And then distinguishing. So this is good, this is not good. What if it happens to you? You will feel bad. So you should not do something like that to the other person. Right? Between the right and the wrong, the good and the bad, and things which are admired and and things which are deplorable. Deplorable means they don't admire it, they don't appreciate it. Uh, to use a little stronger word is people would criticize those kind of behavior, right? Because we have been built up and we are staying in a society which has been built up on certain rules, regulations, and these are the things we also have to carry forward. So that's the definition of ethics. There are a few examples that I'm trying to help you with. The first example is when you steal somebody's idea. Now let's move on from the primary examples to the exact examples that we need to work on. We have been talking about working in teams, but you know, in certain teams, there'd be people, you know, they'll not say much, but when it's time to take the credit, they'll say, okay, it was my idea. So when you steal somebody's idea, it is ethically not correct. Instead, when you work in a team, as the second example states, you have to give a helping hand. You have to go together. So we have been talking in the past 3 units, we have been talking about coordination, we have been talking about cooperation, we have been talking about being flexible. Being flexible does not mean that you let go of the thoughts that you had. You have your original idea, that's excellent. You have to excel by taking people's cooperation, not only taking people's cooperation, but also admiring them for the same. Instead of stealing and taking the entire credit, which is ethically not appreciated in our society, we should work with cooperation. Your part, you are appreciated. Somebody gave his or her part, he or she is appreciated there. These are a few examples. So, this unit will be having the reconnecting questions a little differently. Okay. Little differently is you don't have a true or false, you don't have to select from options, but what do you practice at your home? Can you tell me a few rules or principles that are followed at your home? You know, some of us have, I'll give an example, like some of us have a time limit. When you are going to your friend's house, you have to be back by 9, not after 9. That's a rule that we have in our house. So, what are a few of the rules that you have in your home? You can type your answers in the chat box. No rules, total democracy. In the whole class, nobody has rules at home. Thank you, Ramesh, for answering two rules. He has told that behave properly with elders. So behave respectfully with the ones who are elder to you and get up early. Okay, some other rules. Not to use mobile phones after entering the bedroom. Okay, stay away from technology. Don't waste money. Saving. Okay, great. What else? Okay, don't leave food in your plate. Whatever has been served, you have to eat it. Lovely. What else? Just few people. The others are staying in democracy, I suppose. Even if we are democratic, there are a few rules, by which we have to work. Okay, fine. Let's. We've got a few examples. I've got few more with me. So on punctuality, you have to be on time. So if you say you are coming back from college at 7:30, you have to be in the house at 7:30. Okay, or else you call the parent and tell it I'll be late by a few minutes. Then honesty. Please tell me honestly where you are going to your friend's place. You are going to the college. Be honest. Hard work. They expect you to earn your respect, earn the admiration. So you have to work hard. Respecting opinions of others. As I said, certain families have this rule where whenever you have to buy a new product for the house or a new household utility, they'll take opinions. So which brand do you think? Let's say we are buying an AC for the house. They don't directly buy it. They'll ask. Okay. There are a few rules that are followed at the houses of different people. You might also be having, though people have not shared, but everybody has a few rules in the house. Okay. So why ethics? And why ethics in engineering? That's our question now. Ma'am is talking about ethics, but why ethics? So actually, ethics is an integral part of the success in anybody's career. It is the most valuable asset that you have. Moreover, as I said, whenever somebody sets up his or her business or whenever somebody starts working, the goal of the person is to sustain for a longer duration of time. So how can you sustain for a longer duration of time in the market? You have to build your trust, right? Ethics help you to build trust, and then ethics also free you from control of others, because if you are ethical, people cannot control you, right? If I'm unethical, people may control me. Let me give an example of something from my profession as a teacher. Let's say we already always have this idea in mind that teachers have favorites. Okay, he is a favorite of this teacher, so that's why he's getting good marks. She is a favorite, that's why even if she gives her assignment late, teacher will accept. Had I been in her place, she does not do it. Now what if a teacher becomes unethical? Unethical means even if the student writes a wrong answer, and just because the teacher likes the interaction that the student does in the class or likes the way the student represents his written assignment, even though it is wrong, and the teacher gives marks, that is called unethical behavior, right? Now what will happen in case of this unethical behavior? If I have such unethical behavior, or if a teacher has such unethical behavior, other people will be able to control. What will happen is the other students will compare, madam, his answer was wrong, then also you gave. So now what the teacher has to do? He or she has to give or compensate with the other students marks as well. This is one simple example how people can control you if you are unethical. Now if you are ethical, some teachers who are very strict. If even if it is 10 minutes late, they'll not allow you to enter the class. They're like, no, you come next day, not today. At that time, nobody can point out to that particular teacher and say, the other day you allowed that person to come 5 minutes late. What's wrong in me coming 10 minutes late? I might have a problem someday. You allowed him, you have to allow me. Teacher never allowed anybody to even enter after 5 minutes. So there is no scope of anybody asking her to enter the class after 10 minutes. Right? So that's what I mean when I say it frees you from the control of others. Now, these are a few observations that we have made, and this you can mark as a important question for a short note. So what would be the results of ethical and unethical behavior? Now, if your behavior is ethical, now we are moving more into, slowly we are transiting into the workplace scenario. That's why examples are such. So when you have ethical behavior, you will see that the quality of the product, whatever product it is, that the quality of the product is not compromised with. So you maintain a quality if the behavior is ethical. If the behavior is unethical, then quality does not matter, quantity should be there. When somebody behaves in an ethical manner, he would take care about the conservation of resources available. They would work with the resources that are available. Let's say some of us are quite ethical right now, seeing the pandemic situation. uh, let's say the income in the family has decreased by some percentage. We had been talking about economy and global economy in India, house economy, everything. So what do you think about it? You say, let's try save things. Let's say I'll not have a, because now my lectures are online, most of my internet is used here, I'll not have an extra data pack, because I know that the family is going through a little economic crisis. I don't want to increase the burden for my personal use. It's fine, I'll manage. What I'll do is I'll look into my videos and all stuff. I'll do it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you try to conserve the resources. I'm trying to give an example from the current scenario which might be happening. That's fine. Whereas unethical behavior is, I don't want to care what the family situation is, but I want to watch my web series. I'll do it. It's just an example. I'm not pinpointing to anybody. Right? Ethical behavior, you are proud of your work. Why? Because you have worked hard. Nobody can find a fault in it because you have seen to it that fault finding is not there. Whereas unethical behavior promotes abuse of expertise, which means you are using your expertise in a wrong way. In ethical behavior, the person not only looks for his own profit but also looks at the profit of the society as well. Whereas unethical behavior may lead to guilt and fear. Ethical behavior is timeless, whereas unethical behavior has rough edges, cutting corners. You miss things by just a slight chance, right? Now, when you behave ethically, you do good business. But when you behave unethically, it would lead to disasters, right? Why? Because let's say a product you have manufactured, we have been listening to many incidences that have been happening. Let's say in engineering, if you take construction of roads, or maybe if you take computers, people hacking other people's information, disrupting other people's privacy, uh, right? So what happens is, in such cases, people stop having trust, and there would be rise of disasters more. Now, to cope up with such things, you need people whom you can trust, whom you can rely on. Right? So that thus relying on people would happen with ethical behavior. Let's say if you look at, if you have idea about different kinds of businesses that are run around the city or the place you belong to, your mom would be buying material from particular shop. Why? Because they have been behaving ethically. Let's say some shopkeepers would even return you 1 rupee change, and others would give chocolates or something in exchange of the 1 rupee. Right? Now, see, it 1 rupee is a small amount, but returning that small amount of 1 rupee as the change would create a trust in the mind of the customer. Right? Even if there is some mistake, the seller would always apologize and say, I'm so sorry, how come this happened? I really apologize for the situation. That would build a trust in the mind of the customers, right? So that's why ethical behaviors are things that will build up trust, and that trust is what will build up long time relationships. Now, the scope of engineering ethics. This is a very important question from the exam point of view. Why engineering ethics is there, and why should engineers know about ethics? Now, let's see what is the role of an engineer. Being very specific, we have moved on to engineering and ethics. The role of an engineer is to make life comfortable, is to take life from level 1 and higher. Now, when you are trying to create and invent products for the comfort of life, right? You are also supposed to see the pros and cons of the product that you have manufactured, or the product you have invented, right? An engineer, we have already learned in unit 3 that you are the people, you are the human beings who have creative and critical thinking abilities. Being creative, you know, you have that mind power to create something new, to upgrade something. But we should also take care that with the power that you have, you also have to think about the responsibility part. It's like balancing the seesaw, right? Along with your ability to create, you are also supposed to be responsible and ensure the well being of the society in general. When you have to take crucial decisions, ethics is what will come to your help. And that is why ethics is an important aspect that engineers should know about. Now, who is responsible for ethics? Who is responsible for ethics pertaining to the engineering branch? Now, these are a few organizations. These are a few organizations which you might have heard of as well. They are responsible for engineers being kept into an ethical situation. So I think the two famous ones that you might have heard of is IEEE and ASME. I hope you have heard about it. Have you? A yes and no can help me. Yes, you've heard about it, right? These are actually the organizations. They keep engineers into an ethical code. They will have a code. Okay, we'll be discussing the code in detail as well. That's the next topic. Do not worry. So similar to other organizations, these are the organizations which which would help you or which would help engineering students to keep things in or on track within the boundary. Now, these two organizations, IEEE and ASME, these are the two organizations whose full form also you should know. There could be a question about it because these are the basic foundational organizations. So can you tell me the full forms? Do we have an idea about it? IEEE. I've been listening about IEEE a lot. Okay, we've got ASME, we've got it. American Society of Mechanical Engineers. Excellent. Remember this, please keep a note of it. And IEEE. Excellent. Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Excellent. Please keep a note of both the full forms. There's a possibility of that being asked in the MCQ type question. Right? So wherever you are taking a note of it, note it. So these are the organizations that keep or set rules for engineers. Now, ethics in engineering. So where does ethics come into play, or where does ethics come into existence with respect to engineering? So it includes dealing with colleagues. Colleagues are people with whom you are work. You should be ethical when you deal with people whom you are working with. It includes dealing with clients. Clients means people who are going to buy or use your products. Employees, people who work for you, you have to be ethical enough. Let's say you know that the person is quite talented, but you just pay him half the salary. That's quite not ethical, it's unethical. Then the public, for whom we are going to invent your products. And then finally the users, people who are going to use your product, you are supposed to be ethical. Let's say, by being ethical, I do not mean that you tell that this will work only this much. But by ethical, we mean we can tell them that there'll always be an upgrade available. Every 6 months, you need to upgrade it. So that's being ethical. Okay. The influential factors. What are the factors that affect uh, being ethical? See, we have been always wishing, since human existence is there, human beings have always wished for better and better. And when you are thinking about making things better, you do not have an experience of it. Whoever made a new invention never experienced it. It was an experimentation, a trial and error thing. So, experimentation, when you are keeping experimentation or when you are doing experimentation, the objective that you should bear in your mind, sorry, the objective that you should bear in your mind would be the betterment of mankind. Remember, here I'm not saying that you forget your own profits. See, you cannot do things free of cost, but you can look at the larger profit, the larger picture. Okay, not only your profit, but the profit of the humankind as a whole. Next, you should also look at the risk and safety of citizens as a social responsibility. You live in a society, and you should also hold that responsibility there as well. Why? You cannot risk a person's life for your profit. Moreover, when you look into work, as work advance, you need refinement. Let me give you a very simple example. When you are digging diamonds out of a diamond mine, when you are digging diamonds out of a diamond mine, the diamond is still valuable, but you cannot sell the raw diamond. Right? You cannot sell the raw diamond. What do you need to do? You need to refine it. You need to polish it. Your idea must be excellent. Your idea of advancement must be excellent or would be excellent, but you need to refine it. You need to bring it to a situation where it profits the humankind maximum. Moreover, ethics help you take important decisions in life. Let's say some of us, as I said, you might have certain rules like, when you have to travel somewhere, you have to be half an hour early. You have to leave your house early. Don't overspeed when you are driving. When we read newses of accidents where people are overspeeding and they meet with an accident, we'd always thank ourselves by saying that, thank God dad said you don't drive fast, you leave the house half an hour early. Something like that. That's an example. I know every time an accident happens, it might not be the fault of the person who's driving, it could be the fault of the other person as well. But this is one simple example. It plays a crucial role when you take a decision. Right? Let's say you're inventing a software which is going to help people make banking easier, but there's a small cliche that if somebody takes your mobile phone, or maybe if somebody knows your password, they can also access your account. Now when you are making such a software, you have to think about how to secure the details. Okay, I'm giving simple examples from real life. That's why. So if I do not think ethically, I like, okay, my software is made, One problem is there, it's okay, we'll deal with it later. After many people are cheated, what's the big deal? Instead, if you are an ethical thinker, what will you do? You will think, okay, no, this, if the mobile supported only information for two accounts, that is fine, but it should have security. So taking important decisions is affected by ethical thinking. So what do you think? Do you think you should have, what is your opinion about the scope of having engineering ethics with reference to your field? When I say your field of engineering, I mean to ask that, do you think you should have ethics in computer engineering branch, or as a computer engineer you should follow ethics? And if you are following ethics, why should it be there? Is it important to be there? What role would that ethical information play? So what are your views on it? You can give your views on this.
Ma'am, may I?
So what are your views on the importance of having ethics in computer engineering branch? Will it help the society, or it's just a burden on computer engineers? Okay, it would help. How would it help? Great, excellent. Engineers should use their knowledge to benefit others and not harm. Whether it is any branch of engineering, it should happen in that way only. Let's move on. The scope of engineering ethics envelopes these diverse activities, which can be titled as social experimentation, responsibility for safety. We have been listening to various hazards happening, bridges falling, buildings falling, and leading to deaths or such kind of things being fatal. So we should look into it. You have a role to develop the society. Why? Because as I said, it's an engineer who's having the ability of being creative and critical at the same time, and his goal of getting the degree or after getting the degree is to help human beings ascend the level of comfort in life. Not only is it your, or not only is your responsibility just covering only your street, your society, or your city, or country, or state. It is actually now a global responsibility that we have. It's all like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam that we follow, right? You don't only showcase your skills only for your society, but for a global level as well, and also to increase comfort. So engineering ethics would cover these diverse activities. So with this, the introduction to engineering ethics come to an end. I'll do a quick revision. The word ethics comes from a Greek word called ethos, which means different things. There are four different meanings to it. A simplified version would be rules, principles, uh, values, morality that we follow at our place as well. It is actually a kind of thinking, a distinguishing between what is good and what is bad, what is admirable, what is not admirable, what is the best that you can do. Ethical behaviors lead to long term achievement of goals. Unethical behavior at some point would lead to problems and disasters. Engineering ethics are managed by different societies like the IEEE, ASME, these are the famous one. NSPE is the other one that is there, right? Why should engineers follow ethics? Because engineers hold the responsibility of moving the society forward with their creative and critical abilities. It's not only their moral, societal, but it is also their global responsibility, along with comfort that they provide to the human life, and along with the benefits that they provide to the human life with modern equipments and technologies. They also need to take care and take the responsibility of human society to prosper and not get distracted, right? There are different activities that would cover engineering and ethics, that would be social experimentation, social responsibility, global responsibility, profit to the humankind as a whole, etc. This is a little introductory about the ethics in engineering. Do we have any questions or queries? Excellent. So now we'll move on to our quiz for the day. I'll share the link of the quiz with you. There you go. You have the quiz link for today. You may start attempting your quiz now. Excellent work. Good to see everybody has completed it. It's good to see that you have completed, every one of you have completed the quiz for today. Now, if you see, I have shared a link with you. This is actually the link which I was talking about in the initial part of the session. We are going to, or we are supposed to look into the case studies as well. But what you can do is, if you start exploring on your own, if you start looking at it on your own, you'll have better idea of when we progress through the theory of this unit. Right? Do not worry, you'll not lose the link because the link is already present in the syllabus as well. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make your work a little easier. I've given a link over here. I've copy pasted the link over here. And what I'll do is I might share the link also on the WhatsApp group so that it's easier for you to work on things, right? So look into this link. You will be able to explore a few different things over here, and you'll have better idea about what I'm talking when I'm talking about ethics and engineering ethics, right? So I'll take the attendance for the day. This is a link which you can keep. Enrollment number 2, 5, 8, 9, I've marked you present, Brunda. 10, 12, 15, 17, 19, 24, 25, 26, 29, 31, 34, 35, 38, 44, 46, 47, 49, 50, 51, 53, 54, 56, 58, 65, 67, 68, 69, 72, 73, 82, 85, 89, 91, 96, 100, 101, 102, 103, 106, 108, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 125, 126, 131, 134, and 144. Don't worry, I'll call out the absent numbers once so that if you have missed it, you can tell me. Absent numbers are 54, 91, 134 and 144. These are the absent numbers, right? So you've got your number. So keep a track of the link, go to the link and explore the same for engineering and ethics. And you may find case studies related to your branches as well. 144 is present. Okay, I'll mark you present, Aditi. Fine, class. Thank you. Have yourself a very nice day. Thank you, class.